All-state selection in football, basketball, and baseball. Sanders was chosen to the Florida High School Association All-Century Team in 1985, which recognized the greatest 33 players in the state's 100-year history of high school football. Sanders was drafted in the 6th round of the 1985 Major League Baseball draft by the Kansas City Royals out of North Fort Myers High School. However, he did not sign with the Royals. In 1988, he received the Jim Thorpe Award. He was also a great punt returner for Florida State, leading the country in punt return average in 1988 and breaking the school's career punt return yardage record. During the 1988 playoffs, Sanders made an interception with 5 seconds left to preserve Florida State's 13-7 victory over Auburn in the 1989 Sugar Bowl. His number 2 jersey at Florida State was retired in 1995 as a result of his achievements. He has 126 punt returns for 1,429 yards and 3 touchdowns in his career, as well as 14 interceptions for 287 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sanders' 14 interceptions were the second most in school history at the time of his graduation. Bowden would later explain that Sanders was his measuring stick for athletic ability. While playing baseball under head coach Mike Martin at Florida State, Sanders' batting average was .331 in 1986. He also compiled 27 stolen bases in 1987. Professional baseball career. Drafts in minor league. Sanders played a 9-year, part-time baseball career, playing left and center field in 641 games with 4 teams. The New York Yankees selected Sanders in the 30th round of the 1988 Major League Baseball draft, and he signed with the team on June 22. 8. He batted .284 in 28 minor league games after signing. Sanders played with the New York Yankees, 1989 to 1990. He received a promotion to the major leagues, and spent the summer with the Columbus Clippers of the Class AAA International League. Sanders made his MLB debut on May 31, 1989. During the 1989 season, he hit a major league home run and scored a touchdown in the NFL in the same week, becoming the only player ever to do so. Sanders is also the only man to play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. Sanders and Bo Jackson were the preeminent multisport athletes of their time, but prior to the 1990 season, they had never squared off against each other in a professional game. That changed in 1990, when Jackson and Sanders met 5 times on the diamond, the most memorable of which came on July 17, in what was billed as the Bo and Prime Time show. After Bo Jackson's 3-homer night, Sanders said, Bo's one of the best athletes who ever put on a uniform. Sanders played for the Atlanta Braves from 1991 to 1994. For the 1991 MLB season, Sanders signed with the Atlanta Braves. During the Braves' journey to the National League West Division title, Sanders blasted a game-winning 3-run homer on July 31 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. However, due to a stipulation in his NFL contract, he had to leave the Braves the next day to report to the Atlanta Falcons and therefore missed the postseason. Sanders modified his NFL contract before the 1992 season, in which he still reported to the Falcons for training camp in August but was permitted to rejoin the Braves for the postseason. The Cincinnati Reds, 1994 to 1995. On May 30, 1994, the Braves traded Sanders to the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for Roberto Kelly. The deal was completed only minutes before the Braves and Reds faced off. Sanders batted .277 and swiped 19 bases in 46 games. The next season, he appeared in 33 games with the Reds, batting .240 with 16 stolen bases before being transferred to the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants, 1995. Sanders was sent to the San Francisco Giants in an 8-player trade on July 21, 1995. He batted .280, hit 5 home runs and stole 8 bases in 52 games for the Giants. Cincinnati Reds, 1997, 2001 and 1997. Sanders finished second in the NL with 56 stolen bases in 115 games while with the Cincinnati Reds before leaving baseball for 3 years. Sanders returned to the Reds in 2001, but was released after playing in only 29 games and batting just .173. After being released by the Reds, he signed a minor league contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. Sanders was hitting .252 with the Syracuse Skychiefs when the Washington Redskins discovered a contract loophole that forced him to return to the Redskins. Sanders' football contract allowed him to play both baseball and football, but Sanders could only miss NFL training camp and the first few games of the season if he was playing Major League Baseball. Sanders had to leave Syracuse and return to the Redskins to avoid violating his NFL contract because he was not on an MLB roster at the time. Professional football career.